Hey, all right. I want to welcome you all to a special series, a special edition, hosted, sponsored by Comeback King Enterprises. Man, we've got a show for y'all tonight. Oh boy, anybody that's been in that space where you don't think you could take another breath, where your life has been turned upside down overnight, where everything you thought you had that was going to last forever vanished. Ooh-wee. Guess what? If that's you, I'm going to bring you some hope today. I'm going to bring you a vision that can flip that stinking thinking, that can help you get beyond where you're standing right now, help you get beyond the comebacks that are beating you down because of the limitations that you may view, and help you understand that you too can make it. And particularly the ladies out there, right? From rock bottom to redemption. The mindset of a true comeback queen, man. Y'all gonna hear it in just a few minutes, but I got to do a quick commercial, right? For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Jeff Tyson. I am known as the Comeback King and founder of Comeback King Enterprises, who is sponsoring this event, and I am your host for the next few minutes, right? And man, we believe at Comeback King Enterprises that our life, the comebacks in our life, are not limitations, but they are all designed. And you're going to find out from our guest story on developing in that person that's been lurking on the inside, right? And sometimes we got to go through devastation to get to where we need to be on the other side, right? And then taking that message worldwide and helping people understand that they too are being groomed, right? When you're in that comeback, life is made up of three things: comebacks at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. And it's a cycle, right? And you either see them as limitations, oh man, or you see them as gifts, just like our guest is going to share with you today, right? So just want to ask you to make sure you show up and let us know where you're from. Show some love to the guest in the comments, a way of communicating. So please drop your feelings in there and your thoughts in there. And on behalf of Conversations with Jeff, make sure you go out and subscribe and like that program as well. And let me just tell you really quickly about our guest coming up, right? Man, in preparation for these events, I get to talk to people, right? I get to find out who they are and kind of get into some secrets. I'm not going to tell y'all all the secrets. I'm going to let her tell y'all. But I mean, this particular young woman, man, was married for 23 years and, first lady, a woman of position and power and grace and serving, and a mom and all those things that you do in the community, right? And bam, all of a sudden her life got turned upside down. She's going to tell you about that, right? And we talk about the gifts in life, man. And from that devastation, from all those difficult things that she went through, she found her purpose. And she's now an author, right? And hopefully we can get her to come back and talk a little bit about some things around forgiveness. She's got a little stuff she's working on in that area, right? So y'all remind her of that. And then author and mom, and she's got a podcast. And her goal and dreams now is to help other women that were in her situation or are in her situation, gone through it, still carrying that burden. So without any more, if I say with no further ado, help me bring to our session today my friend from the East Coast, baby, Miss Monica Hall.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? Thank you so much, Jeff, for this invitation and this space to come up and talk with your audience on today.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you, and as we said from the very beginning, since you and I have been talking, everything that you've been through is designed for such a time as right now, right? And we like to come around here, we like to get right in it, right? I mean, you're a busy woman and you have lots to do besides sit here and talk to us all night, although I'd love to keep you as longer than you've got time for. Let's just kind of get into it, right? I mean, I talked about what you've been through a little bit and, where you are today, but I think you have some things that you said to me. You said life can be happy on the other side.
Oh, yes.
To know that life can be happy on the other side. Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. So, divorce is very devastating. I mean, it just doesn't change your relationship. It changed your entire life. And I don't think most people who face divorce actually think that you're going to get divorced. Like, I got married to be married till death do me part. And one day it just upside down. Everything just was changed. And So I want you to know that you can make it. You can find joy on the other side of it. There was a long time where I did not think that it was possible because, everything was just tied up into my marriage, who I was, a first lady. We had a nice emergent, a young church that was growing. We have 6 beautiful children. Like all of these things were all going so well. And then one day, for me, it was just like it was over. And so it's just like, oh my gosh, how do I recover from this? How do I make it? And just having no idea on what life will look like after it.
And I'm hearing you share that, and I'm thinking about all of that's going on, and then the human side of it. It's like you got to face all these people that you've been around. I mean, you got all that going on, and you have all of
You have
so
your children, you have the congregation, you have your friends, you have the people, your neighbors, you have, yeah,
and that can't help but add to how you feel about yourself.
yeah,
On top of everything else, but yet still you're here today,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and you did that stuff, and I don't know how much you want to share about that, but when you think back over that moment, and you said it just kind of caught you off guard,
Mm-hmm.
didn't see it coming,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's some ladies out there and men too, but we're here to talk to you because you help women that don't see it coming.
Yeah, yeah.
That are right where you were. What can you tell them? I think I already said life can be happy on the other side.
Yeah, life can be happy on the other side, but in that moment that devastation comes, and it's like you can't even figure out what life will look like. I mean, 23 years is a long time to be married, right? That's
Yeah,
a long time to be one.
yeah,
You
yeah,
do a lot of things, right? And for me, being a woman, you're covered, you're protected. That's just a long time. And now it's like in an instant, it was almost like, how you just tear a paper and it's just like zip and it's separated,
yeah,
but everything is torn. And so everyone who's connected to you is part of that divorce. Not only you, but like we said, your neighborhood, my church, my children, like everyone is connected and a part of it. And so it's very, very hard. I mean, you've been through divorce, so you know that it's very, very hard, no matter what side that
yeah,
you're on. You know what I mean? If you are the injured party or the one doing the injuring, it's still a very, very difficult situation. And I just did not know. I just could not fathom life not being married. I
yeah.
mean, this is I don't know. And it's like one of those things you grow up, you always want. I came from a family where my father and mother, they were married, but they didn't live in the same household. And so as a person who's seeing that, I want my children to have a different life, right?
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
try to do what you need to do. We're in the church, we're serving God, we're doing the best that we can. We're not perfect, but we're holding on, we're walking by faith.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden it's just like bam. And I'm like, even thinking about it now, it's just like what came to my mind so prevalent was like, Lord, you did an okie doke on me. Like, how is this my life right now? Like, this
yeah,
is somebody else's life. It's not my life,
yeah,
And that's a hard realization when you're a person of faith,
right,
right? To come to that, to be like, okay, now what do you do? And we've been in a place where we've counseled so many going through this, going through that. And it's like, what? This is not my life. But I'm telling you that once it took me some time. This
yes,
was not
yes,
was not an easy process. It took me some time. I fell off the boat. I got
mm,
depressed. I was
mm,
anxious, even have thoughts of getting out of here. Like, this don't make no sense. Life don't make sense. Like, what are we doing here? Because this is not where I was supposed to be. But by and by, after a while, even being angry with God because of the situation. And people say you're not supposed to be angry with God, or you're not supposed to question God. I don't know. That's not my story. My story
that's some crap, right? Let's just say it like it is. I know it was for me, but go ahead. Yeah,
my story is I was angry.
yeah,
I was angry. These things were not supposed to happen to us,
mm,
right?
Yeah.
And so you say you serve God who's all loving, who's all knowing, who's all powerful. You have all of this, and how come this is my life now? But I had to rectify a lot of different things, right? Rectify some things within myself, rectify some things with my relationship with God. And once I began to do that, I began to start coming back around. But it
Yeah.
took me some time. We also went into COVID. So it
Mm.
was right before COVID. So then that added a whole nother layer to the situation,
Wow.
because now you didn't have contact with people, and you didn't have anyone to come and give you a hug. You
Yeah.
didn't have anyone to, you know what I mean? We didn't have that physical contact with each other. So
Yeah.
that made it even harder. But the main thing is really God can heal you.
Mm.
You can recover.
Yeah.
You can have joy. Like
Yeah.
life doesn't have to be bitter and and anger doesn't have to reside in you. Like you can make it through. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy, but I'm telling you that it's possible. I am proof of it, that
Yeah.
it is possible.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, when I go back to the when you were saying you were married for 23 years and you came from a situation when you had even more determination to make your marriage work,
Yeah.
right? And you didn't want what you experienced. You wanted the best things for your kids,
Yep. Yep.
on top of just being a good person and woman that was going to participate. So you
Yeah.
had all that movement going towards the flow. So I mean, it's the feelings, and because I know when you talk about all the other people that are impacted, right? Because I
Yeah.
said I've been through a divorce myself and
Right.
all of that stuff, and I was in a situation I thought would last forever, like you did.
Hmm.
My parents were married for 44 years, but they lived in the same house. So I can, so that's what I thought.
Right.
So when you have that, I mean, Monica, I mean, there's got to be, I want to talk about the personal feelings for a moment, because I know there's women out there that are like you are, right? It's like, I mean, women and men hurt when it comes to this.
Hmm.
There's a level of trust that is developed when basically he took care of everything. If I remember that right, I mean, you other than the household, I mean,
Majority of the things. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
you were the first lady, and that was your role, and with
Yep.
everything else, he was there. So you had that stuff going on. So now there's probably some feelings about how could you let yourself be in that situation.
How can I let myself be in that situation? How could I have missed it? How,
Yeah,
people of faith, myself, we have the Holy Ghost who comes alongside and helps us and directs us and lead us and guide us. How did you miss it? How, you have all of these different questions and thoughts, and even questioning your own faith. It's like, is this really real? Like,
right.
am I really, is am I really on track, or am I like delusional or something? Because I don't know. This just didn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It just didn't make sense. And so, I mean, you really, it's like almost you can't really describe the moment or the feelings of the level of
yeah,
brokenness that you experience when you go through it, right? there's
yeah.
a there's a level that you almost, for me, like I said, I went through depression. I went through not wanting to get out the bed. I
Mm.
went through, not wanting to go to work, but for the grace of my children and the grace of God, and that my children was here. So like you have to kind of like show up,
Yeah,
even the congregation, right? Because now they don't have a pastor, but I'm here, so I still have to show up because they're still looking for someone to be the leader. They're still
yeah,
looking for someone to pray. They're
yeah,
still, and even that is just a whole nother level to it, right? Because you're hurting and still trying to serve. You're hurting and still trying to do the work, right? And then it's like, well, who's coming to help me? When
mhm.
you're the leader and you're hurting and you're still trying to serve. So even that dynamic was kind of difficult. And I tried to do it as long as I could until I said, you know what? I have to step away. I have to get some healing. I have to do some work. I have to not be serving because I need to sit somewhere and be healed.
Right.
Yeah. So
Did you have some level of guilt around making that decision, or were you free by making that decision?
you know what I did, but I made the choice that I was more important,
Mm.
that my children were more important. I did have that level of guilt. I did have some level of guilt. But when you have to, for me, I've been in church for a long time. I've been serving for a long time. It's what God has gifted me to do. I'm not unhappy about it. That's part of
Right.
what I do. I serve. And I love God that He's given me that gift because I like to help people, right?
That's
But
right.
people are always going to take from you. As long as you give it to them, they will take from you. So you
Yeah,
have to create some boundaries for yourself so that you can kind of level it out. You understand what I mean?
I
So
do.
yeah, so at that time, I did feel some guilt, but I was more important. The
Yeah.
life of my children was more important. I needed to get better so I can show up better,
Yeah.
not for them, for me,
You.
because it wasn't for them. It was for me
Yeah.
because I had to find life. I had to find real joy. I had to find my life again. I had to be free to live again, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's why I asked the question, because I know I men, we act like that stuff doesn't hurt us, but it does.
Yeah.
I mean, when you don't feel worthy and all that stuff, and you second guess, do you deserve things? And
Yeah.
so it's pretty common a lot of times.
Yeah.
I appreciate your honesty and vulnerability around that, because when people hear that and are in your space, it's going to free them, right?
I hope so.
Because it's a terrible spot already, and the longer you stay, and you tell me what you think, but the longer you stay in that role, the more difficult I think it is to come out sometime. What do you think?
It is more difficult to come out, and it's more difficult, I think, to get real healing
Mm,
because you need the space to
yeah,
kind of you need the space to kind of get through all the emotions and all the feelings and all the things that is happening. And that means you have to kind of sit down and be quiet.
mm,
And that's what it meant for me. I had to sit down and be quiet. Now, could I have done some things differently? Probably, but I needed to go someplace where I can be ministered to, and I was not the minister. And that was important to me because I needed places where people can see me, just as Monica, no title, no nothing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because when you're married to a pastor, everything in your life is tied up to it.
right.
Not only just married as a pastor, but when you're married in general, like everything is tied together. The two shall be one. So
Yes,
everything is tied together. And when you go through the separation and divorce, I had to find out who was Monica without anything, without being a first lady, without being a wife, even
yeah,
without being a mother,
yeah.
without being anything. Like, what's my favorite color? Is it really purple? Or do
Wow.
I just like purple because he liked purple? Like, do
Yeah,
I really like fried chicken? Or you know what I mean? Like something as simple as that.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
literally had to quiet everything so I can figure out who I was and what I wanted for the rest of my life. I'm not
Mm,
saying selfishly, like not consulting God, but
right.
really understanding who I was as a person,
Yeah.
who I was as a person, and what did I want the rest of my life to look like. So I had to quiet all the noise. I had to be someplace where I was just Monica. I was just a visitor. I would just come sit down. They would do all the things. I'd be like, ooh, and now I could go home. I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to count no money. I don't have to pray. I don't have to do anything. I could just go on home and
Yeah.
meditate. And it also gave me space to really, I went to therapy. I think
Mhm.
therapy is big, 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 big. We don't
Right.
talk enough about it in the church. I think we need therapists.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but I went to therapy, and through um, talking with my therapist, I figured out there was so many more things that I wanted to do in life. And
Mm.
literally, I made a list of all of these things that I wanted to do. One of them was jump out of a plane, and I did it.
Oh
I did.
no!
I
Oh,
did it. I
oh,
did.
that's
And
awesome.
my mother did it too. So
Oh,
I had this list of things that I wanted to do one year. And I would call my mom and I'd be like, Ma, this is on my list. I'll call my sister, this is on my list. And so my mom was like, okay, what else is on your list? I'm like, Ma, I want to jump out of a plane. She's like, let's do it. Now, my mother was 74 years old at the time.
Oh, I love it.
She said, let's do it. I'm going to find a place down in North Carolina. And I went down there. We jumped out the plane. Oh my gosh, the most scariest thing I ever did in my life. But it was the most beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the views from the sky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there are no words for it. So amazing, so freeing, just flying down in the air with that parachute. Oh my gosh, it was great. But going through that list, I really figured out things that I liked. I like fishing. I'm from New York. We don't fish in New York. We go to the market and get our fish,
You
right?
go to the market. That's right. That's right.
But I like fishing. I like sitting on the lake and sitting in the quiet. I like nature. I like walking. All of those things I begin to find out about myself that I probably would not have found out. Because I really say this, Jeff, and I don't know how this came about, but for me, it was like divorce broke my cycle.
Yeah.
That I was in.
Yeah.
Right? Not that it was a bad cycle. I'm not saying I was off. I wasn't, doing what God wanted me to do, but it literally broke my cycle. And it became, and I've become almost, I don't want to say a totally different person, but it put me on a path that I probably never would have been on.
Right.
Because I would have stayed in the circle that I was, doing the things that I normally do, right? Probably would have never started a podcast. Probably never would have wrote a book. Probably, you know what I mean? Like those things I probably never would have done. I would have just stayed in the cycle that I was in. And so even though it was devastating and it literally took a lot out of me, it still takes tolls on us sometimes. Things come up, things trigger you, and you have to manage those feelings and know how to deal with them, right? And like I said, all the people that are around you still go through it. Your children still go through it. They got to get on their path of healing, right? Just the congregation who now is gone, they have to get on their path of healing. But I came to the place where I understood that I'm not responsible, so to speak, for all of those people. Even though at one time I felt the burden of it, carried, trying to make sure that everyone is well. And when God really began to help me get through it, it was understanding that it wasn't my burden. It's like we all have that personal relationship with God, and we all have to go to him to get that healing and to navigate through it, because I'm not all powerful. I'm not all knowing. That's God's job, right? We just got to point people to him. And they have to get their healing and get their, go through their experience. Yeah.
Wow. I enjoy listening to you talk about that. And as you're talking, I'm thinking, you hear it all the time. So sometimes it almost may sound corny, but when I hear your story and getting to know you from what I know so far, that you said it, right? The life you were living was great, but the life that you're in now and the things that you're going to do, Monica, it's going to be jumping out of a plane all the time. I'm just saying. I mean, it's going to be, because that's how it's been for me, getting to know you, right? And seeing what I see that he's got in store for you. And I mean, what you're doing now, I don't want to say, well, I'm just going to say it's almost like it would have been a waste in some ways. And so sometimes the ugly things happen that feel really bad for us, but the higher being knows the plan.
He knows.
He knows the plan, right? And
absolutely
knows who to pick, who can reset like that.
Yeah.
Like, who can be strong enough. I mean, it's not easy to pull away from something that feels kind of good, right? I mean, people coming to you kind of make you feel kind of good when you're feeling really bad.
Makes you important. You feel important. You feel special.
Feel special. Everybody likes to feel a little special, but to let all that go and recognize that there's still more work to do in that healing piece. So you had what we call on Comeback King Enterprise, that mirror moment when you looked in there and said, I need to step back. I need to find that quiet.
Yeah.
And when you were in the quiet, how'd that feel? How long did it take you to get comfortable? Or did you get comfortable right away?
I did not get comfortable right away. It took me a minute. No, it took me a minute because I mean, this was not a straight path for me. I mentioned earlier about the depression, about the anxiety, about, wishing that I could just end it all, just having moments,
Yeah.
driving the car down the road and just feel like, that could be it and it could be over, right? So
Mm,
this wasn't a straight path. This was kind of a rocky path, and even being angry with God, it's just like, forget you. Like, how could you have let this happen to me? You're
right.
supposed to protect me. You're supposed to protect my kids. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it took a while. It took a while to be comfortable in the quiet.
Yeah.
It took a while not being the person that people were calling,
Yeah.
right? But I
Yeah.
was so broken and hurt. It
Mm,
was a relief
yeah.
not to have to give to anyone, not to have to expect someone to be calling me. But on the flip side, there's a scripture that says all things work together for good
For
to
good.
them who love God and are the called according to his purpose.
Mm,
And if nothing, I just kept telling God, I don't know how this is going to work for my good. I
mm,
have no idea. But because your word says it,
yeah.
I've got to believe your word.
Yeah.
And and because I believe your word, somewhere down the line, somewhere, I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know any, but I just know your word is true. You're not a man that you should lie, nor the son of man you should repent. I'm
Yeah.
saying this is your word, and I give God back his word. I'm like,
Mm,
Lord, you said it's going to work for my good. You gotta show me how it's working for my good. So this is the results of it working for my good.
yeah.
But sitting in that loneliness and that quiet and that space, it took some time getting used to. And sometimes I replaced it with other things. I was like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something. I gotta do something. And
Yeah.
you just replace it because that's what you always been doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't until I was really, really quiet and really, really sat, really, really did the work,
Yeah.
dug down deep
Yeah.
to figure out what the heck was going on with me.
Yeah.
And I was able to be like, okay, even now, sometimes I could be quiet. I could go and do things by myself. I don't need, when you're married for a long time, you do everything together.
Yes.
Even something as simple as like just going to eat by yourself or going to the movies by yourself.
Live by itself. Yeah.
You don't do that, right? Because you've always been with someone. But then I've learned to enjoy my company.
Mm.
So, but it answer to your question, I wasn't comfortable at first. It took a long time.
Well, and thank you for sharing that because it's true. I mean, you gave a picture of somebody's life right now. It's probably out there struggling with some things, and so I love that. And listen, I always like to keep it real on the show. You the preachers. I mean, you the first lady. I mean, you like, and God, how can you do? I mean, how can you do that to me? Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be saying that. I guess I'm asking you. Did you say that? I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I'm sure you. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean,
Yes. I had some times where I had times I couldn't pray. I couldn't read my word. I couldn't even, just so devastated by the circumstances of my life.
yeah.
And, I have a book that I'm working on about my life, and it's how my garden saved my life. And
Mm,
part of that book is explaining like the winter season where everything is dead and nothing is growing. That's
mm,
how I felt like my life was for a very, very long time. And it wasn't until God just began to speak to me in the garden. I would just spend hours and hours tending to the garden,
mm,
putting my hands in the dirt, putting my feet in the dirt. It was
mm,
healing for me. And
yeah,
then to begin to see things spring up and to see things grow, it
yeah,
began to just bring life to me as I was doing it. The other day, I was in the garden and I have a part that I call my asparagus bed. So it has a lot of dead leaves, a lot of dead grass. But when
okay.
you look real closely, you can see the asparagus peeking up out the ground.
It's coming.
So I have like 7 pieces of asparagus that's growing. And that's how it was for me. As
Yeah.
I began to keep tending to that garden, God began to speak to me. He began to soften my heart.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
So bitter. I was so angry. I was just, I don't even know what's past bitterness.
That's pretty good. Like,
But
yeah.
I was just so devastated, right? And he began to soften my heart.
Mm.
where I can then hear him again. Because at
Mm.
one point it was just like I could I it was just like, you did a okey doke. How could you have allowed this? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how we can feel like there's certain things that we are exempt from
Yeah.
as children of God, right? It's like,
Yeah.
that can happen down the street, that can
Yeah.
happen next door, but that can't happen in my house because
Not
I'm
you.
exempt from that. I
Yeah.
don't know what made me feel like I was exempt, but
Mm.
God showed me I wasn't, and He's gonna
Mm.
take me through. He's gonna take my kids through. We're gonna be okay. We're
Yeah.
gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to the other side of it. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
let's flip the word exempt, and I would say chosen, right?
Chosen. Look at Job.
Yeah. Chosen, for things that you're doing now,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, you're standing up, and I've already kept you for 30 minutes, and we haven't even got a lot of juicy stuff. I mean, woo. So that's how it goes when it's supposed to, right? I mean, it's just
Yes.
amazing because I know people that can hear you and they don't have to even see you, but hear you and feel you. I mean, that's what this whole gift that he's given you is all about.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about. I do, before you run, I do want to talk a little bit about the books. I know we've talked about it, but kind of like you have a mini series kind of working on, and then you also have a book, right? And
Yeah.
that mini series is around forgiveness.
Yes. The mini series is about forgiveness. So we're gonna talk about forgiveness in stages. And for me, you always feel like you're good at forgive. Well, for me, I felt like I was good at forgiveness
Yeah.
until you had to forgive the person laying next to you.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And so being that close really taught me the difference in forgiveness. And
Mm.
so we're going to talk about when you are not able to forgive, where you feel entitled to hold on to that pain and that hurt, because that was a stage for me. I
Right.
felt like there is no way, nobody can tell me no different. I can hold on to this. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, Lord.
No, ain't getting this one back.
I'm like, oh no,
Sorry, bro.
hold on to this. Right, right. So I felt like I was entitled to it. And
Mm.
literally, the Lord had to take me to, my prayer was, Lord, help me to forgive, because I didn't want to. I know what the scripture says. The scripture says, if you don't forgive men their trespasses and sins, God is not going to forgive you. And I'm like, well, Lord, but this
This.
is what you want me to forgive. I'm like, oh, no. And
Mm.
and so it helped me to forgive. If
Yeah.
you can get to the place that you can just say, Lord, help me. Ask the Savior to help you.
Yeah.
He will help you.
Yeah.
You can tell him, I don't want to forgive, but I know what your word says. And that's what I had to tell him. It's like, talking to God, you have to be honest. He knows everything anyway. He knows our heart anyway, right? So what's the
Right.
sense of skating around it? Lord,
Right.
I don't want to forgive this because it hurts me too badly.
Right.
It hurt me too badly. It hurt my children too badly.
Right.
But because your word says it, I'm going to ask you to help me to do it.
Right.
Help me to forgive. And that was my prayer for some time. Lord, help me to forgive. And
Yeah.
then after he helped me to forgive, then it was like I make a choice to forgive.
Mm.
So this was different because now you are choosing every single day, every single situation. I choose to forgive. I choose to forgive. And the more I kept saying that I choose to forgive, the more that hold that was on me, it was no longer holding me. When
Let-
that trigger would come up, or something would happen in the house, and you got to do something to fix it. If you watch my YouTube videos, you'll see me doing all kinds of stuff in the house. I fixed my stove. I had to get on the roof and shovel the snow off.
Man.
There was a leak behind the wall. I'm banging the wall out, right? So every time there's something big happening, it kind of reminds me that I'm alone, right? That I'm here, I'm making all the decisions, I'm carrying the weight of it, right? But that's okay because I keep choosing to forgive. So it doesn't have a hold on me. It doesn't take me down the spiral of bitterness. It doesn't have me fussing. It doesn't have me angry. It doesn't have me bitter. It's like, Lord, just help us do what we got to do. help me to find the right person, help me to find the right YouTube video, you know, go to Home Depot, find the right employee to ask. Every time he always helps me, right? And
Yeah.
so in this series, we're going to take you through when you can't forgive, and you
Mhm.
have to ask God to help you to forgive.
Yeah.
And then the idea of, not the idea, but making a choice to forgive.
Yeah.
This is so very important. God does not override our will, right? He gives us free will. That's who we are. So we have to make a choice to forgive. And the more you do that, oh my goodness, you find freedom,
Yeah.
you find love, you find joy. Oh my goodness. It's like you don't have, and it's not a put on, you know what I mean? Like you can see the person and you can still say, I choose to forgive. You know what I mean? It's like at one time you felt like if you saw them, you would kill them, right? Like, like if I had a gun, you know what I mean? If I was a license carrying person, you know, like you would do that, right? But it's like, that's not in my heart anymore. And that's only but by God. That is nothing, no goodness of my own. Only God can help me do that. Yeah. And so that's what the mini series is going to be talking about. So
that's going to be incredible because everybody needs the lesson in forgiveness.
Yeah.
We all are carrying something.
Yeah.
And really it's the past holding on to us. Right. I mean, it's really that's holding on, and it triggers the reliving, it triggers the wounds, all those things in that cycle. And so, you know, we talked a little bit about that last night. And so, I mean, I can't wait to get more into that because it's going to just free so many more people. I mean, I just saw you, I just sit back and smile and watch the beams coming off your face from thinking about your experience, right? I mean, you can't fake this.
Yeah.
You can't fake it, man.
Yeah. You can't. But the idea is that people, I think sometimes you feel like you can't, like you've experienced something that you can't get over.
Yeah.
But if we learn to just go to God.
Yeah.
Just go to God. Do the work. Go to therapy, right? Surround yourself. Get yourself in a community, a support system. I always say it's so important for us to have a support system, right? And I have support systems in different ways. I have sisters that I can walk with. I have sisters who I go to church with. I have sisters who can pray for me. I have sisters who I could go on vacation with. Like you need the different pillars of support to help you to navigate. And I always say we don't do life alone. My women's group, we meet every third Thursday. I have a women's group out of this, right? Because part of it was I felt like I didn't have a safe space to go.
Yeah.
My circle was too small. I'm like, where can I go? Who can I find to help me? Well, I didn't really know any divorced people.
Yeah. No, you probably didn't. Right.
Everybody I knew was pretty much married. I knew some, but I didn't see them go through the process, right? So it was like, so I didn't have a safe space. So I created a women's group that was a safe space for women. So even in that came out of this, right? So there's like so many different levels to this. I mean, I thank God that he's taken us through. I still would not have chosen to go through it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Agreed.
But I can see the other side. See the other side. So I'm grateful to God for that because I didn't have to be here. I didn't have to make it. I can still be stuck in bitterness because, again, it's a choice. You have to choose that I want a better life. I have to choose that I want to find joy again. I have to choose that I want to be happy again. You know, you have to choose that. I have to choose to put the drink down. I have to choose to not overeat. I have to choose to put on my sneakers and take a walk outside in the sun. Like all of these things we have to choose. Because I want a better life for me.
Hey, come on now.
For me. Yeah.
I love how you just wrapped all that up with that last statement that you said. And you don't say it in a bragging way. You don't say it in better than. It says that I deserve it. I hear I deserve it. This is what I deserve, and still be loving and still serve other people, and all the things that you know I'm sure you're doing now when you're helping women get to that space. So now I'm gonna have to let you go, but before I do, before I do, I want, how do people get a hold of you for women out there that are like, hey man, I got to get more Monica, or how do we get a hold of you?
I'm on Facebook as Monica Hall. I'm on Instagram as Destined for Purpose ATL. I'm on TikTok, Monica Hall. I'm on, what did I just join? Substack. Substack. I just joined. Now on Substack is going to be a little different because we're going to talk more about divorce on Substack. On Facebook, I do a lot of other things, but yeah. So come join me on Substack. What else am I on? I think that's the only places that I am. But if you just put Destined for Purpose ATL at, where am I? Oh Lord, why is my brain giving me a freeze? Wait. These are things you're supposed to be rattling off, right?
Hey man, it's evening time. You're doing all right. You'll get it.
Okay. Destined for Purpose ATL.org is where I am. And there you can join my women's group, which is Destiny Awaits. It's a safe, secure space where we meet virtually every third Thursday. And it's just women supporting women. It's just a good place, because my motto is we're not meant to do life alone. And there are a lot of us who have isolated ourselves because of situations, whatever, but you just feel like you need to be isolated. It's not a good way to live life, and it's not a good way to go through life. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So the world belongs to us. So sis, you got to get outside. Like you got
to feel the sun. I mean, the breeze in your face, right?
Yes, feel the sun on your face. You have to go get a hug from somebody. Share a cup of coffee with someone. That's what Girl Trek is about, which is an organization that for Black women. But we do Sisterhood Saturdays, and every Saturday we go out and we walk together. And you can just show up to a walk, girltrek.org. You need to get at least 30 minutes of walking 5 days a week. It'll help extend your life, so you can do other things. But yeah, I'm all over the place. Just, look up Monica Hall. You'll find me.
And they can always get a hold of me too, because I'm most definitely stay connected with you. And hopefully we can get you back here in the month of April to kind of talk a little bit more about some of the things we didn't get to, and about the series around forgiveness. And I think that's really, really needed right now, because there's so many things that people, like we talked about, are carrying that are where you were years ago, where I was a long time ago, and carrying all that pain. And when we find out that we can forgive ourselves, we can change the world that we live in, right? And we deserve that space. God can do it. If you don't believe in God, then find whatever it is that you can pray to or connect to that can get you out of yourself and go from isolation into community. You can go faster by yourself, but they always say you can go further together. And, I love the fact that you've got a community focused mentality and all the things that you've done. So this has been an amazing time. I just Zoom and we're done. And that's when I know it's the right time to have you. And Tiffany Collins said, yes to you, and a lot of folks who get the replay. So Monica, I want to say thank you again. And is there anything that you want to just kind of close this thing out with? If so, go ahead.
Well, first, thank you. I appreciate you. I just appreciate your time. I appreciate you reaching out to me. I appreciate what you do. I didn't even know about your community until you reached out, and I'm like, oh, okay, this was good. So, I thank God for the connection. And I thank God for the opportunity to be a part of your community today. And as I stated in the beginning, if you are facing divorce, if you have went through divorce and you don't see a way out, you don't see your life improving, you are just bound by bitterness and anger, you can be free. You can find joy on the other side of it. I'm not going to tell you that it's easy, but it is possible. I am the proof of it. You can do it. And if you need an ear, you need someone to listen, find me, Monica Hall. I'm not that hard to locate on Facebook, on Instagram. You can find me, DM me. I'll be glad to listen. I'll be glad to help you along the way, because this is what we are supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I love that. All right, my friend. So I'm going to say goodbye to you for real this time.
Okay.
Thank you. And if you can hang on when I close you up, I'll be right back with you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye. So, man, I told you guys earlier that you can see why I got excited before everything started, because you can just feel her, you can feel the love, you can feel the joy, you can feel the truth that she shares, right? And man, she had it, going from devastation to finding that peace, to really knowing what she's meant to do, what her calling is, and will you find all those things out? I don't know for sure, but I do know this, that it's possible, like she said, for you to find self-love again. And from there, it's about choices. Like she says, go, this replay will run. So I encourage you to go back and listen to it. She dropped a lot of powerful nuggets. As always, we want people to come in here and amplify the power of hope and truth. And she did that today, right? So when you get the replay, make sure you, if you got any questions, you DM me around that and we can connect you with her. And as always, in Comeback King Enterprises, we want you to remember that, right? Don't see the comebacks in your life as limitations. Look at what Miss Monica Hall did when just overnight her life blew up and where she is today. And she didn't sugarcoat some of the journeys, right? So it's possible to see them, the comebacks as a lifestyle. Part of that thing where you get stronger through the pain, you get clear for your purpose. And most importantly, you go from isolation to community. So I want to thank everybody for showing up and watching this replay and sharing and subscribing, going to conversations with Jeff and liking and subscribing there. And as always, from Comeback King Enterprises, we want you to know your comeback starts right now. Let's rise together, baby. All right. We'll see if we can get it back here next week to continue about that forgiveness. So stay tuned and we'll talk to you later. Take care now. Let's rise together, baby.